To learn our next method of factoring trinomials, we are going to introduce and talk about standard form of a trinomial. Most of the trinomials we have dealt with are in standard form, we just haven't called it that. So standard form of a trinomial is a, that's a coefficient, times x squared, plus bx plus c. So if I look at x squared minus 11x plus 28, there's a 1, the coefficient of x squared is 1, so a is 1. B is the coefficient of the x term, so it is negative 11, and C is the constant, it is 28. And we have been factoring trinomials where A is 1. And when A is 1, we have been using the x method. So we need two numbers whose product is 28 and whose sum is negative 11. And that would be negative 7 and negative 4. So x squared minus 11x plus 28 factors to x minus 7 times x minus 4. Now we're going to have a coefficient of x that is greater than 1, okay? And when a, or the coefficient of x squared, I said x a minute ago, but I meant x squared. When the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1, we're going to use what we're going to call the AC method, okay? So if I have 2x squared plus 5x plus 2, then a is 2, B is 5, and C, the constant, is 2. And the first thing we need to do is find A times C. So A is 2, and C is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So now we need the factors of A times C. So we need a product of 4 and a sum of B. So you want to look at B. We need the numbers that multiply to 4 but add to 5. So that would be 1 and 4. Now here's where this is going to be different than what we have done before. We're going to rewrite the middle term using those factors. So we're going to copy the 2x squared, and we're going to write 5x as 1x plus 4x. Okay, so we're going to use those two factors that we just found right here, and we're going to rewrite that 5x as 1x plus 4x, and we're going to copy the plus 2. And now we're going to factor by grouping. So I have 2x squared plus x. So if you need to or like to draw that line down the middle, we're going to do 2x squared plus x. I'm going to factor out an x, and I'm left with 2x plus 1. And then for my second step, I'm going to factor out a 2, so plus 2. And when I factor that out, I'm left with 2x plus 1. Now I can factor 2x plus 1 out, and I'm left with x plus 2. So 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 factors to 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. Remember that you can check any factoring. So if we remultiply this, I'm going to do 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times 2 is 4x. 1 times x is 1x, and 1 times 2 is 2. So I end up with 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. You do not have to check every time, but that is one way to know that you got the problem correct. This trinomial is 2y squared plus 9y minus 5. So a is 2, that's the coefficient of y squared. B is 9, that's the coefficient of y, and the constant is negative 5. So we need a times c, so 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So we need a product of negative 10, and we need a sum of whatever b is, so we need a sum of 9. So we need two things that multiply to equal negative 10, but add to equal 9. So I think that's going to be a positive 10 and a negative 1, right? 10 times negative 1 is negative 10. 10 plus negative 1 is 9. So now we copy the 2y squared, and we write the 9y as those factors. We're basically uncombining the like terms. So plus 10y minus 1y. And then you copy the negative 5. Now we are ready to factor by grouping. So you look at the first two terms because we've created something with 4 terms here. You look at the first two terms. I can factor out a 2y, and I'm left with y plus 5. And then the second two terms, I need to factor out a -1 and change that to y plus 5. Now, the y plus 5 is common to both of those. I'm going to factor it out, and I'm left with 2y minus 1. So 2y squared plus 9y minus 5 factors to y plus 5 times 2y minus 1. Remember, you can check it by remultiplying, and that is how you factor using the AC method. For these next ones, I'm just going to talk through them. If you want to pause the video and try them on your own and then check your work, you can. If you want to work them with me, that will be good also. So 2k squared minus 11k plus 15. So A is 2, B is negative 11, and C is 15. So I need A times C. So 2 times 15 is 30. So I need my product to be 30, and I need my sum to be B. So that's negative 11. So two numbers whose product is 30 and whose sum is negative 11. So that's going to be negative 6 and negative 5. So I'm going to copy 2k squared. I'm going to write the negative 11k as negative 6k minus 5k, and then I'm going to copy the plus 15. Now I'm ready to factor by grouping. 2k squared minus 6k, I can factor out a 2k, and I'm left with k minus 3. Negative 5k plus 15, since that third term is negative, I'm going to factor out a negative 5, and I'm left with k minus 3. Now, k minus 3 is common to both. When I factor it out, I am left with 2k minus 5. So 2k squared minus 11k plus 15 factors to k minus 3 times 2k minus 5. Next, we'll factor 9x squared minus 3x minus 2. So A is 9, B is negative 3, and C is negative 2. A times C is 9 times negative 2, which is negative 18. So I need my product to be negative 18, and I need my sum to be negative 3, whatever B is. So when I look at that, I think negative 6 times positive 3, right? That equals negative 18. And when I add them together, I get negative 3. So I copy the 9x squared. I write negative 3x as negative 6x plus 3x, and I copy the negative 2. I'm ready to factor by grouping. I look at the first two, 9x squared minus 6x. I can factor out a 3x, and I'm left with 3x minus 2. And then 3x and 2 don't have anything in common, so I factor out a 1. And anytime you divide something by 1, you get what you started with. So factor out the 3x minus 2, it's common to both, and I'm left with 3x plus 1. If we were to remultiply 3x minus 2 times 3x plus 1, we should get 9x squared minus 3x minus 2.